Hey everyone, welcome to On the Rocks. I'm your trail guide, Claudia Collins, and I'm taking you along for my adventures as I check hikes, waterfalls, and other outdoor activities off of my Arizona bucket list. Today we're heading to the Spur Cross Ranch Conservation Area to hike Dragonfly Trail. This trail is 1.8 miles long with 139 feet of elevation gain, and it's rated easy. I wanted to add this disclaimer: when you arrive at the small parking lot at the trailhead, don't be fooled. There's a ton of additional parking down the road, and there's really easy to follow trail markers to make your way to the start of the trailhead.
Today we're trying out another family-friendly hike. This one brings us up north to the Carefree Cave Creek area, and I think just across the board from what we've seen so far, definitely family-friendly. It's all families out here with small kids. Let's check it out.
I decided I wanted to do something different for this week's hike. I've never hiked in this part of Arizona, and just the drive through Cave Creek and Carefree alone made this trip worth it. And it didn't take long for me to realize that this hike would be even more picturesque. There were so many cacti, and we hadn't even gone more than a quarter of a mile at this point in our trek. And while we're in the desert, those lush green trees made me realize this would be a bit of an oasis. Very quickly, you see the landscape change on this hike. We go from the desert to seeing plants and trees I've never seen this close to Phoenix before. Kids and pups alike would enjoy hopping around on the boulders here, and the water crossings are just the cherry on top of the perfect trail. I decided to do the opposite of what All Trails recommended, and I went counterclockwise, mostly because I was too impatient and way too eager to save this first water crossing. The water was cold, as you can imagine, but so crystal clear. Remember how I said the landscape quickly changes? Nothing could have prepared me for just how gorgeous the terrain would be after turning this corner. I mean, the saguaros were towering over us. I may have seen some of the biggest saguaros I've ever seen with my own eyes. I just had to stop and take a mental picture, and a few real pictures too, of course. Another thing I loved about this hike was the amount of shade. Because of the tall trees and even saguaros along the creek, we were able to stay protected from the sun, and on this particular day, the wind. We loved exploring every inch of this trail, and I couldn't help but smile at all of the families enjoying time outdoors with their young kids. And their kids were loving it even more than their parents. I still think Mia might have had the most fun though. I'm going to keep the Jewel of the Creek as just that, a bit of a treasure hunt. Instead of filming this whole part of the hike, we just hung around the water and enjoyed it for a little bit before making our way back to the trailhead.
If I could only use two words to describe this hike, it would be pure joy. Didn't know what was coming around every corner: the water, the saguaros, the green trees. All of it was unexpected and so beautiful.
Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time on The Rocks.
Great hike.